It's Shedeur Sanders. And when are we going to start realizing that you cannot control people? Some of the same things that people ridicule Shedeur Sanders is also the same things that makes people like Jackson Dart. It's in the eye of the beholder when you're regarding who you're talking about. Damned if you don't. And what he's been able to do is say, hey, I only can do what I can do or what I'm allowed to do, and that's what we're seeing play out.
But Cam Newton is stepping up, and this time, he's not backing down from the criticism and backlash that Shedeur Sanders has been facing lately. In an unexpected move, he called out the circus that's been surrounding Cleveland, pointing out how often people are being targeted for reasons that, frankly, seem ridiculous. But what's even more telling, Cam said, is that while all this noise is swirling around Shedeur Sanders, people should be paying attention to the same trail leading back to Jackson Dart. According to Cam, it's simple. Shedeur is being called out for one reason, and one reason only, because some people just can't control the narrative being built against him. It's all about that relentless push to tear him down, no matter the context. And Cam? He's here to make sure that narrative doesn't go unchecked.
When Shedeur does anything, it's always critique. What I don't like is, you may not be able to relate to what he's doing or how he's doing it, but you can't control and make it be what you wanted.
Cam Newton isn't holding back, saying that Shedeur is facing a level of scrutiny that's not just unfair, it's unprecedented. Shedeur, according to Newton, is the first fifth-round, third-string quarterback in NFL history to experience this kind of overwhelming support from fans. And that, he argues, is exactly why the pressure on Shedeur is so intense. Newton firmly believes that NFL owners and even the league itself are uncomfortable with the groundswell of fan support for Shedeur. They're not used to seeing a player with this kind of backing, and it's shaking up the status quo. As far as Cam is concerned, this is more than just a player's performance on the field. It's about controlling the narrative and trying to suppress the momentum that Shedeur has built. Fans are rallying around him, and that's something the league doesn't want to see. Cam Newton didn't stop there. He went on to say that every time Shedeur Sanders steps onto the field, no matter how justified his actions may be, the level of criticism he faces always seems disproportionate. According to Newton, this isn't just the usual rookie or young quarterback critique. It's something much deeper, something more targeted. Newton is quick to point out that the criticism goes beyond what you'd expect from standard analysis. It's not just about the plays or decisions on the field, it's personal. Even when Shedeur takes steps that seem like progress, the attacks come at him with an intensity that no other player would typically face. Newton sees it for what it is. There's an agenda at play, one aimed directly at undermining Shedeur, regardless of what he does.
It's not even about, before we get to the point, we have to understand what the reality is.
Yeah.
When Shedeur does anything, it's always critique.
Stephen A. urged Shedeur to fully understand the unique situation he's in, pointing out that everything he does will be under intense scrutiny because of his ties to Deion Sanders. He highlighted that being Deion's son comes with its own set of challenges, including an added level of pressure and attention. Shedeur, according to Stephen A., needs to recognize just how much his every move will be watched and analyzed. It's a delicate balance to strike, and Stephen A. made it clear that Shedeur must be mindful of this if he wants to thrive under such a powerful spotlight.
Shedeur Sanders understands that every little thing he does is under a microscope because of who your dad is. And
Nick Wright, however, wasn't as forgiving when it came to Shedeur Sanders. He didn't hold back, quickly declaring that Shedeur's recent actions could end up turning both the media and fans against him. Wright was blunt, stating that by remaining silent and avoiding the situation, Shedeur is only making things worse for himself. He called this approach a major mistake, one that could easily backfire. Wright warned that if Shedeur isn't careful, this whole scenario could spiral out of control and end up backfiring in a big way.
I hate that commentary. I am asking for him to recognize this works against him. And his dad, who everybody loves,
Wright didn't stop there. He continued to emphasize that Shedeur's lack of response could be seen as a sign of weakness or even arrogance, and that's something the media and critics love to exploit. According to Wright, in a world where public perception is everything, staying silent might not be the best strategy, especially when the pressure is mounting. He argued that Shedeur needs to address the noise surrounding him head-on, or risk letting the narrative slip further out of his control. If he doesn't, Wright believes the backlash could grow stronger and harder to overcome as the season progresses. Ryan Clark took a bold stance, declaring that Shedeur Sanders needs to accept one hard truth: the media is going to turn everything he does or says against him. Clark emphasized that Shedeur has to be fully aware that every move he makes is going to be scrutinized and twisted in some way. His advice? Shedeur should focus on being upfront and transparent, rather than trying to navigate this storm by avoiding confrontation. Clark believes that by being direct and straightforward, Shedeur can avoid giving the critics any more ammunition and take control of the narrative. And he even accepted that Shedeur is being wrongfully treated WVWNN in this scenario, but that is what is real. The pressure on Shedeur Sanders is undeniable.
It don't matter who I interview, but if I get him to say something, they're gonna have to put my name on the bottom of the screen because I'm the one that asked him. He just gotta understand that. It is unfair, Shedeur, the way you are criticized, the way you are treated, the way people break down everything that you do, but that is what it is for you. That's the reality.
The challenges he faces aren't just about performance on the field. They go deeper, touching on perceptions, media narratives, and the weight of his family legacy. Nick Wright, on the other hand, warns that Shedeur's silence could be a mistake that amplifies the criticism, while Ryan Clark emphasizes the need for transparency and directness. At the end of the day, Shedeur must stay true to himself while being aware of how the world is watching him. In a world where every action is dissected, it's up to him to control the narrative, rise above the noise, and prove that he's ready to succeed, no matter how tough the scrutiny gets. What do you think about the intense scrutiny Shedeur Sanders is facing right now? Do you feel the media is being unfair, or is the criticism deserved considering his position and his connection to Deion Sanders? How should Shedeur handle the pressure? Should he speak out more, or is it better for him to stay silent? Do you agree with Cam Newton that there's an agenda against him, or is this just part of the game? How would you navigate such intense public attention if you were in his shoes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.